Bartering and trading is the most underutilized things that people do. It's being done every day on social media by collaborations and sharing. But if you look at Richard Branson from starting Virgin Airlines, or you look at Mickey Arison from starting Carnival Cruise Lines for bartering and trading, it's one of the most effective, most powerful things you can do. It's only really done now with, like, I always joke, but the preppers, like a leg of lamb for a rusty knife, or the government, you know, 1 million barrels of oils for a couple of tanks, right? But right now, you have equipment and or a time or a customer base that you can trade out with another company that you're not competing with.
Yeah.
There is massive amount of thing you could do when you barter and trade. When I was selling clothing, we didn't want to stand by ourselves. We always wanted to stand next to other companies that had similar products, even if the companies didn't even know we were bartering and trading off of them. You know, Nike was so big, they never wanted to talk to us at first.
Yep.
So we would just have a brown bag, go up there to where Nike's office, and we'd find the designers, and we'd say, just tell us the colors. Give us the actual Pantone colors. So we give them like $20,000. There's 30 oranges, but magically, when that Nike sneaker got into Foot Locker, that FUBU jersey had the same exact burnt orange color as that Nike sneaker. Now, if they would have bartered and traded with us at first, it would have been better, but who cares? Nike didn't give a shit. We were like a tick to them. But bartering and trading is the most effective thing that you can do to grow your business, and Jay Abraham is like a master at that. You know, I just won an Emmy, all right? And it's been an honor to win this thing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Did I just say that? But by the way,
humble brag, but in case you...
The silence was deafening by very specific people. Deafening. But I don't take it any other way.
That's a great information point, though.
Yeah.
Right, because then you know those people really weren't supporting you, even though they act like they are.
The silence was deafening, and it's not that everybody's going, oh my God, fuck me, don't worry about me. But at least when you talk to me, hey man, heard about that? Congrats, or just a boop on social. Yep. The silence, their finger couldn't go. Oh, fuck, I can't. Fuck you. Just hit the like button. God damn it! I'm in this position because of him.
That is the most accurate representation of the internal state
Yeah.
of those people I've ever seen.
Yeah.
You should be on TV. Man, I love that we get to go here on this, because this is the entrepreneur part that you don't hear a lot about in workshops and things like that. I think this is the hardest part.
This is by far the hardest part. You know, as entrepreneurs, you can't tell anybody your problem, but you have to listen to everybody else's. Your staff thinks you walk on water. Everybody is 1 month away from having to pull out some other aspect of equity or cash in their life. And, you know, you have internal challenges with your family. You're questioning yourself if you decided to go down the right path. Should you go back to a simpler life? After 5, 10 years, you may have to give the whole thing up and say to yourself, was it even worth it? You know, you have stress with your loved ones. You are on the road and not seeing your children grow up. You know, you don't get to hug your mother. There's a lot of issues when it comes to this, and this is the things that people don't talk about, you know? But it's worth it. End of the day, it's worth it. When you see those employees happy, you know they've given 10, 20 years to you, and you know that no matter what, there was no disruption in their life. You see people, that, especially in this room, that you've saved their lives. Are you fucking kidding me? There's nothing greater than maybe you've earned just that little toe into heaven by saving somebody's life.
Are you a CEO that knows that you've done everything to master your craft? Now you need to take your personal brand to the next level? Well, I love working one-on-one with game-changing CEOs. And if you're interested, reach out. Go to workwithashark.com and fill out the form. Now, back to the video.
Do you think companies that do things that matter make less money than just the pure users?
No, I mean,
I don't either.
I came up with a company that it was about clothing, but it made people feel like they belong. People who felt like initially they weren't being respected because of whether it's the music you listen to or something else like that. I created a community, the kind of like the first hashtag of clothing. And I wasn't saving lives. But, you know, I remember the first day African American woman came up to me and she said, I opened my bakery because I believe that, you know, you showed me that us as African Americans, we can also empower ourselves too, and we can create our own. And she had tears in her eyes.
Another thing people don't talk about is, this is going to sound like a total non sequitur, but it is hearing aids and hearing loss.
Yes.
So we're working together on one of the companies you work with,
yeah.
Starkey. Now, Starkey's a member of your, what's it called?
CEO Access.
CEO Access, all right.
So Starkey is the top privately held hearing device company. And Brandon is one of my CEO Access people. I have an exclusive program where I have about 6 people who are thought leaders. I think we're going to throw it up on the screen. This is very rare, though. It's thought leaders that the world needs to know. They've already done a massive amount of stuff, and they're the people that you end up seeing on a Shark Tank, like a Matt Higgins or you know, various other people. But Starkey Hearing, and of course we can obviously work with you to work with your community. These devices, now the hearing devices have gotten to the point where it can translate 72 languages. But what we did with Starkey Hearing was, he's already massive and he's already helping people, but you know, it helps reduce dementia and Alzheimer's and various other things, because as we talk about biohacking, if you're not getting information into the brain, or you're not getting the right hearing into the brain, well, you know, that's one of the biggest problems. And people, it takes about 10 years for somebody to realize that they have hearing loss. And people don't realize how much it disrupts your life, because you're the person that needs to put the TV up to 8, where everybody's listening at 2. You're the person who didn't hear anything, and you're having conflict in your life. That's where the dementia starts to set in, because as you start to have more conflict in your life, you start to kind of stay away from people. You're the person, you know, at the dinner table, your husband or wife going, "Hey, honey, look at that asshole over there." And you're like, everybody can hear you, you know. So we've been working with Starkey Hearing for years. I'm gonna obviously, you know, he was at one of your events, and we're gonna bring him around. But
yep.
But that's a CO Access. CO Access is for very, very limited people that really understand that they are the voice of authority, and the world doesn't know them. Because as we start to try to brand ourselves out here personally, that's what takes you into other aspects of business. You know, the same way that person's name is going to be known who screwed you before he gets into the room, same way that people want to know your name before you get into the room when you are somebody of authority. And I got to tell you something. He does missions where he fits 300 villagers in Africa. The first time you see a child at 6 years old actually hear their mother's voice, there ain't enough tissues in the room. Wow. You know, so it's really great working with people like that. We work with Dr. Rewire. And yeah, so that's been a really big passion of mine to take my stage and highlight other emerging CEOs that people need to know. So,
would you recommend having a relationship coach for the family members you work with who's tied in with the business?
That's a good question. It all depends on, again, if you get recommended by a great coach, because I've noticed that a lot of coaches have, you know, they're screwed up. And
oh yeah, and me too. I've noticed it a lot.
Yeah, they're fucked up, and you know, before you know, you're going through a divorce. It's also what business partners you have around that could hurt your relationship, not on purpose. I'll give you, and this is real time, real thing. So, my wife, she's the most confident woman in the world, and I get to say anything I want. Baby, look at that rump on that chick right there. It is amazing. And my wife would be like, yeah, that's cool. And I don't have to peek. She knows I'm looking. I don't have, you know, and I can say anything I want around her, right? But I'll give you an example. Somebody came on Shark Tank. These 2 girls, one of these girls was the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, besides my wife. She's about 25 years. She's a model. And their new company, literally 4 days ago, it's these little panties so that women can wear, so they don't, I guess they have panty lines or whatever. And then she has
Burning Man, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And she had another girl that was really beautiful, and all her friends were models. Now I'm the clothing guy. They're looking at me, want to do a deal, and I'm like mesmerized by this woman. I'm like, oh my God. I said no to the deal. I'll tell you why I said no to the deal. No matter how confident my woman is, I'm not traveling the world with this 25-year-old girl and all her little model friends looking at small panties. There's just something wrong with that. You know what I mean? Now, I will never cheat on my wife. I am bonded by God, and I will violate something way bigger than that. And my wife is I'm absolutely obsessed with my wife.
We're talking about controlling perception.
Yeah.
And what I've been guiding companies to do, and I want you to shoot holes in this or agree, is say, all right, when you're small, you want to look bigger than you are, so people want to partner with you. Sure. Not in a way that's lying, but you can have signs. I know lots of CEOs who answer the phone as their assistant and then transfer themselves.
Yeah. Yep.
It's happened.
I used to do that.
Yeah. And then when you get to be bigger, I actually say, you know what? You don't need to brag that much. Like actually look smaller when you're bigger.
Yes.
Do you ascribe to that?
I totally agree with that.
Okay.
Anybody worth value talking to, they're gonna find out who you are, and so that humble approach is kind of the thing that you want to have, because you want somebody to say, "Oh, that person is the real deal." They're gonna check into you because if the deal is worth it, they're gonna check into you. So there needs to be some level of the humble approach. When you walk in with the name dropping, there's ways to name drop and not. You know what I mean? Oh, I was just with so forth. I don't want to hear that shit. I want to hear, hey, we have worked with a couple of people in the past you may know.
You want to be bigger than you are if you're small but not too big. And if you're really successful and you still keep doing that, you're just going to attract more of the users and takers, and you're going to alienate people who you probably should be partnering with.
I didn't really know Joe Polish at first. This guy, and he's a little off. This guy started showing up in my office once in a while when he was in New York, and he just started introducing me to people. And I was like, what's in it for him? He was like, nothing, man. He said, I learned in my life that, man, if you just keep giving as much as you can, you will be the people that they'll look over when they're coming after you. You'll get one pass, when you fuck up, and you will fuck up. And he just kept giving. And after a while, I kept going, it's kind of one of those things when people call you, you're like, what's up? After a while, I was like, what's up, Joe? Because I knew there was no other agenda, And when you become that person, you turn around and then you start looking at Joe and be like, this fucker knows everybody. The reason why he's not calling to introduce me for anybody because, for any reason is because he can introduce me to 1,000,000 people. He's just doing it because he gives a fuck. And when people sense that, and if you have to overprove it in 1 year of business, then you shouldn't be here. Because you're going to be here for 5, 10, 20 years. And whether it's this business or another one, that reputation is gonna follow you or be in that room before you.
For Joe and for the real people you're going to work with, it's not transactional. He's not introducing you so you'll introduce him, and that's not in his mind. I know him really well. It's not what it's about.
It's not the same with you either, or Jay Abraham.
Yeah.
Like you, Joe, me, Jay Abraham, we say the relationship we connect you with, make them your own.
Yeah.
We don't need you. Make it your own.
Yeah.
People want to, after a while, people want to, like, what else can I do for you?
Yes. And this is what networking really is.
Yeah.
And it's not, what can I get? Who do I talk to? It's how do I help this person?
Yeah.
And you may never see him again. You don't know. Or you might see him again 5 years later, and they'll say, you said that one thing, you introduced me to that one guy, and I'm in business now. And it changes things, but you don't keep track. It doesn't matter. And besides, if I kept track of all that, I had more space to do anything, right?
Yeah, I just find just become a giving person. And again, Joe and Jay Abraham have reinforced this to me. Tony Robbins has reinforced it to me. The people that I respect, and I didn't know Joe at the moment. He wasn't this publicly known person the way that I had looked at these other people. But I'm not just saying it because he's here. Because if he wasn't here, I'd say the same thing. Yeah. These type of people, man, when you become that person of truly giving and caring, and most of you in this room, that's what you are. Man, people love it. People really, you bring a smile to somebody's face. And it's just like a partner I want. When a partner comes in a room that I have, I like that person to come in with solutions into the room and say, hey, we have these 10 problems. I solved these 8. Don't worry about these. But these other 2, they're challenging. And I got some options for us how we're going to solve this. Because we're going to get over this shit. That's the person I want in the room. Not you guys hear what happened today. I don't know why this shit is always happening to us. It'd be like, oh, God damn it, I don't need that shit.
On that note, guys, give it up for Daymond John.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're a CEO like I was, where I mastered my craft, but I know that I needed to master my personal brand. Well, then you've come to the right guy. I love working with CEOs that are already game changers and just need to take it to the next level, but nobody out there has experienced what they have experienced, and nobody out there can take them to where they want to go. Well, I can. And if you want to find out more about it, reach out. Go to workwithashark.com. And thanks for watching. And make sure you subscribe. Peace.